What if we told you the circus was more than just a venue for acrobats and clowns? It was a haven for society's most unusual and often misjudged individuals. From the boy with claw-like hands to the woman with 4 legs, these freaks found a stage to display their rare differences, transforming what many deemed bizarre into spectacles that stunned and mesmerized. Today, we're diving into the captivating lives of the 15 most incredible circus freaks that really existed. Number 15, Kitty Smith, the Armless Dynamo. Unlike many sideshow performers born with unique features, Kitty's disability was the result of cruelty. In 1891, at age 9, she refused to prepare dinner for her intoxicated father. In response, he forced her arms onto a burning stove until the damage was irreversible, and both had to be amputated. Kitty was made a ward of the state. Her dad escaped prison due to lack of proof. Dr. F.M. Gregg was so affected by her story that he created a fund for her education. With the help of trained staff, she learned to adapt. Kitty mastered embroidery, writing, piano playing, and painting, all using her feet. When the funding ended, she supported herself by performing at Coney Island and with Ringling Brothers and Barnum. She also sold her artwork and memoir. In that book, she forgave her father, even rewriting her past, claiming she lost her arms in a fire accident. Number 14, Priscilla Law. This is the remarkable story of Priscilla Law, whose life challenged social norms and blurred the line between human and animal. She was born in 1911 in the lush forests of Puerto Rico, and Priscilla had an extremely rare condition called hypertrichosis, which covered her body in thick hair. Her appearance earned her the nickname Monkey Girl, a label that stayed with her for life. But Priscilla Law's path wasn't shaped by shame or rejection. At just 3 years old, her father brought her to New York in search of medical help. That journey took an unexpected turn into sideshow fame. Then came Carl Lither, a compassionate showman who saw her true potential. He offered her protection and care, helping her thrive. Under his guidance, Priscilla's condition became a stage attraction, but her kind heart won audiences over. Eventually, she found love with Emmett Bagano, the alligator-skinned man. Their relationship proved that love, not judgment, defines people, regardless of how the weird world may see them. Number 13, Emmett Bagano, the alligator-skinned man. Emmett Bagano, also known as the alligator-skinned man, was born in Florida with ichthyosis, a rare skin condition that left his body covered in thick, scaly patches. Only his face and hands remained smooth, giving him a striking and unforgettable appearance. Emmett eventually joined the sideshow world, where he met Priscilla, known as the Monkey Girl, who worked for the Lawther organization. Their bond grew quickly, and the two married in 1938. Together, they built a life both inside and outside the spotlight. Priscilla gave birth to a daughter who tragically died of pneumonia shortly after birth. Later, the couple adopted a son, Tony, and continued their careers as performers, billing themselves as the world's strangest married couple. They ran their own show, traveled extensively, and became enduring icons of circus culture. Their marriage lasted an incredible 57 years until Emmett's death on May 14, 1995. Priscilla followed on February 5, 2001. Emmett was adopted by Johnny Bagano after his biological father's death. Number 12, Eli Bowen. While Myrtle astonished with her 4 legs, another performer would redefine possibility with none at all. Eli, born in 1844 with a rare condition known as focal congenital deformity, had feet attached directly to his pelvis. Instead of letting this define him, Eli trained hard and pushed the limits of his body. From childhood, he built upper body strength and incredible agility. By age 13, he joined the sideshow circuit, where he earned his title as the Legless Acrobat. His performances were jaw-dropping, balancing on his hands, executing acrobatic feats, even riding horses. Audiences were stunned by his strength, especially during high-wire acts where his arms served as his only support. But Eli's life wasn't just about performing. He was also a devoted husband and father, proving that physical limits don't stop love or family. Though he became a sensation in the sideshow world, those who knew him remembered him for his courage. Number 11. The Ohio Bigfoot Girl. From clawed hands to massive feet, the circus world has long embraced individuals who transformed rare conditions into unforgettable acts. One such figure was Fanny Mills, famously known as the Ohio Bigfoot Girl. Born in 1860 with Milroy's disease, which is a disorder that causes her feet to grow abnormally large, her feet eventually reached a staggering 19 inches long and 7 inches wide. Despite standing just 5 feet 2 inches and weighing 115 pounds, Fanny's disproportionate feet drew gasps and fascination. In 1885, she leaned into her condition and joined the sideshow circuit, touring across the country. Audiences were drawn not only to her unusual feat, but also to her grace and light-hearted nature. Promoters even offered a $5,000 prize to any man who'd marry her, further fueling her fame. But behind the act was a deeper story of love and humanity. In 1886, she married William Brown, her nurse's brother, proving that beyond the stage lights, compassion and love could thrive in unexpected places. Number 10. General Tom Thumb. General Tom Thumb, born Charles Stratton in 1838, stood just 63 centimeters tall. He was discovered at age 4 by legendary showman P.T. Barnum, who saw his potential instantly. Under Barnum's guidance, Tom became a world-renowned entertainer, not just for his size, but for his commanding stage presence. He mastered comedy, acting, singing, and impersonation, transforming into a multi-talented showman. His performances became so iconic that he toured Europe, even meeting Queen Victoria in person. Audiences across continents adored him. His face appeared on collectibles, advertisements, and souvenirs, turning him into a cultural figure long before celebrities were a thing. While his size attracted attention, it was his charisma that sustained it. Tom Thumb wasn't just a novelty. He was an artist who proved talent could outshine any physical limitation. In every performance, he turned curiosity into admiration and proved that greatness has nothing to do with height and everything to do with presence. Number 9. Prince Randian. In the circus world, one man's story showed how sheer willpower can make the impossible real. Meet Prince Randian, born in 1874 in British Guiana, without arms or legs due to tetra amelia syndrome. Just surviving was a feat, but Randian didn't stop there. From early childhood, he learned to adapt with astonishing skill. Using only his mouth, he could write, paint, and even shave. His talents caught the attention of P.T. Barnum, who saw a star in the making. Under Barnum's guidance, Randian became internationally famous for his incredible feats, especially rolling and lighting cigarettes with his lips, then smoking them with effortless style. Despite his condition, Randian had a sharp wit, a strong intellect, and a magnetic charm. He married Princess Sarah, with whom he had 5 children. Offstage, he was fluent in 4 languages, including English, German, French, and Hindi. Prince Randian's legacy wasn't built on sympathy. It was built on excellence, confidence, and the will to live fully on his own terms. Number 8. Pauline Musters. Pauline gained global fame for being the shortest woman ever officially recorded, measuring just 58 centimeters in height. From a very young age, she was introduced to stage life and quickly became a standout in traveling circuses and variety shows across Europe and the United States. Despite her tiny frame, Pauline had an enormous personality. Her charm, grace, and natural performance skills won audiences over wherever she appeared. She could sing, dance, and captivate with her stage presence, not merely as a novelty, but as a true entertainer. She often performed in elegant costumes tailored to her size, making her presence even more visually striking. Sadly, her career was cut short. In 1895, Pauline died at just 19 years old from pneumonia and meningitis. Though her life was brief, her impact was wide. Pauline Musters remains a legendary figure in circus history, proof that greatness isn't measured in inches. Number 7. The Armless Wonder. While others soared through the air or performed feats of strength, Frances O'Connor redefined grace without the use of arms. Born without either arm, she refused to let her condition become a limitation. From an early age, she trained herself to use her feet with masterful skill, writing, sewing, even painting with remarkable precision. Her talent caught the attention of the Ringling Brothers Circus, where she performed as the living Venus de Milo. Audiences were left stunned as she threaded needles, poured tea, and even fired rifles using only her toes. But Frances wasn't just an act. She was known for her humor, confidence, and quick mind, engaging in lively conversations with anyone who met her. Her poise turned her from performer to icon. While the spotlight brought her fame, it was her individuality and resilience that truly stood out. Frances O'Connor wasn't defined by what she lacked. She became unforgettable for what she mastered and how she carried herself without apology. Number 6. The Elephant Man. Some performers overcame the absence of limbs. Joseph Merrick lived with an excess of them. Born in 1862 in Leicester, England, Merrick was afflicted by Proteus syndrome, a condition that caused enormous deformities across his skull, spine, and limbs. His right arm was unusable, and his head had grown to nearly 3 feet in circumference. Shunned by society, Merrick spent years in squalor before entering the world of freak shows, where he was exhibited as the Elephant Man. Despite being displayed under harsh conditions, Merrick remained remarkably composed. In 1886, Dr. Frederick Trevis brought him to London Hospital, where Merrick was treated with dignity. For the first time in his life, he experienced comfort, respect, and meaningful friendships. Visitors quickly saw he wasn't a monster. He was a gentle, intelligent man with a poet's soul. He passed away in 1890 at just 27, likely from asphyxiation while sleeping. His story endures as a quiet triumph of empathy over cruelty and humanity over spectacle. Number 5. Edward Mordrake. Edward Mordrake was afflicted with a condition that remains one of the most disturbing in medical folklore. On the back of his head was a second face, not functional in the usual sense, but reportedly able to move, whisper, and grimace. It was said to murmur vile things at night, driving Edward toward isolation and despair. Despite endless efforts to seek help from surgeons and spiritualists, no one could remove or silence the second face. Haunted and exhausted, Edward allegedly took his own life in his 20s. His tale has since become legend, a haunting story passed through generations. Whether entirely factual or not, the legend of Edward Mordrake taps into deep-rooted fears about identity and autonomy. To this day, no verifiable medical record confirms his existence, but the myth persists, blending tragedy and horror into a narrative that still captures imaginations across the world. All right, now, let's move to number 4. Lionel, the lion-faced man. Lionel became known as the lion-faced man due to a weird condition called hypertrichosis, which caused thick hair to cover his face and body, resembling a lion's mane. At 4 years old, he was sold to a German circus owner who saw potential in his striking appearance. Stefan Babrowski quickly rose to fame as one of the most recognized acts in freak shows and traveling circuses of the era. But he wasn't just a visual novelty. His performances combined his unusual features with acrobatic routines and demonstrations of strength and agility. His calm nature contrasted with his wild look, making him a favorite among audiences. He often shared the story of his life during shows, explaining how his condition led him into entertainment. Stefan Babrowski's presence was unforgettable, not for shock, but for how he embraced what made him different. He turned uniqueness into identity, performance into pride, and spectacle into legacy. Number 3. Pascal Pinon. Pascal Pinon, a railroad worker from Texas, was born in the late 1800s and became known as the Two-Headed Mexican. He had a large benign tumor or cyst on the top of his head, which sideshow organizers transformed into a sensation. A wax replica of a second face, complete with glass eyes and a molded mouth, was fitted onto the mass, giving the illusion of a second head. This manufactured deformity helped launch Pascal into the world of freak shows, where he toured North America and became a featured attraction. Despite the spectacle being largely staged, Pascal accepted his role and used the opportunity to support his family. He was known to be gentle and soft-spoken off-stage, contrasting the eerie image he was paid to present. While his second head was artificial, his story became a symbol of how far the entertainment world would go to create mystery. Pascal remains a bizarre yet memorable chapter in circus history. Number 2. Myrtle Corbin. Myrtle became known as the four-legged girl from Texas. She had a rare congenital condition called dipagus, which resulted in a parasitic twin's underdeveloped lower body attached to her pelvis. This left her with 2 extra legs extending beside her own, a sight that immediately caught public fascination. Although she was originally from Tennessee, Myrtle spent most of her life in Texas, where she performed in sideshows and exhibitions throughout the late 19th century. Her uniqueness drew massive crowds, and she was promoted on posters as both fascinating and extraordinary. Despite her physical condition, Myrtle lived a fulfilling life. She married and had children, showing that her condition never held her back from living fully. She passed away at 59, a long life by the standards of the time. Her name became synonymous with freak show history, remembered not for a deformity, but for her dignity and self-assured presence. Number 1. The Elastic Man. Felix, born in 1858 in Wisconsin, developed physical traits that seemed to bend reality. His skin could stretch like rubber, and his joints moved with uncanny fluidity. His talents weren't limited to stretchy skin. Felix could twist and contort his limbs into positions that seemed to defy anatomy. Audiences were stunned by what looked like superhuman abilities. He gained recognition performing across America, especially with the Ringling Brothers Circus, where his act became a crowd favorite. Medical experts believed Felix suffered from Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, a connective tissue disorder that results in hyperelastic skin and flexible joints. But while others may have seen an illness, he turned his condition into a form of power, using it not for sympathy, but for spectacle. Whether stretching his skin or folding his limbs in impossible ways, Felix became a living wonder, earning both applause and awe. His shows left lasting impressions that made him a standout in circus history. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and share it, and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon in the next one.